So today we're looking at character. Okay, we looked at setting, and I'm going to reread the setting of my story because within the setting I actually included my characters. So that's what you're listening for. You're listening for who the characters are and what you can hear about them. Then once we're finished, we're going to fill this organizer in together about my story for an example, and then you're actually going to get one for your story. And this will actually help you develop your characters, because I might find that I didn't give a lot of details and I should add more details. Or that I maybe need another character. Maybe there was someone else in the story. Okay, I'm going to ask you to stop playing in your desks because the noise will be picked up by the microphone. Thank you. All right, focus right up here where my hand is so that you can see. Let's reread the story. So listen. And listen for that. You're listening for the characters. Okay, remember, this is part of developing our strong beginning, because if we have a strong beginning to a story, then people are going to want to read it more. They'll be more interested. If it doesn't get interesting till the middle, people aren't even going to know, because they won't have gotten that far. They'll be too bored by our beginning. All right, so we really want to get them interested at the beginning. So part of the way we can do that is by having interesting characters. All right. It was a warm summer night in Moriya City, Ibaraki Prefecture, Japan in 2005. I had just gotten home from a busy day at work. Tired and hungry, I started to walk to the store to find some supper. I traveled down the quiet city streets where I could smell barbecue meat, vegetables, rice, and miso soup drifting out kitchen windows everywhere. I wondered what I would eat. Lost in my own thoughts, I heard something crying. I looked down to see a tiny white kitten with black spots. He looked like a cow kitty. He leapt up into my arms and nuzzled into my armpit. Alright, so in this initial setting, I have two characters that I've added. One of them is myself. Alright, so it's me, Jessica, and we can actually fill this in while we go ahead and do that. Well, we'll fill it in together, you'll watch. So, name, Jessica. You would write your name if this were you. So I'm just going to write me. Alright. And it says, I had just gotten home from a busy day at work. You see, I was tired and I was hungry. So I would write tired, hungry. Alright. And you could probably infer that I was sleepy. I mean, tired and sleepy mean kind of the same thing. I started to walk to the store to find some supper. I traveled down quiet city streets. I told you what I could smell. I wondered what I would eat. So here you see, I wondered what I would eat. You could call that daydreaming. You could call that lost in my thoughts. You could infer that I was thinking about things. Okay, you guys must think about things sometimes when it's quiet or when you're out for a walk. Okay, so that's an inference, because I didn't say I was thinking about things. I just said I wondered what I would eat. Alright, but I'm going to say lost in thought. And since this is a story about me, I know that I was lost in thought. I often get lost in thought when I go for walks. Alright, and here I actually wrote it. Lost in my own thoughts. There we go. I heard something crying. I looked down to see a tiny white kitten. So that's all about me. I finished writing about me. Alright. And so I could draw a picture of myself walking if I wanted to down the street. Right, here I am. Okay, and put a smile on my face. And then I said I was thinking about what I would eat. Maybe I would draw pictures of different foods that I like. Pizza. I don't think I was thinking about pizza, but noodles. Okay, and maybe some dessert. Maybe I'll have a piece of pie, let's just say. Okay. Now those weren't the exact things I was thinking about, but you can kind of get the idea. And in your drawings, you'll probably add a lot more detail to the drawings. Okay, I just sort of sketched the drawing out, but you'll probably add much more detail than I did. So put some houses, and you could even color it. I mean, there's lots of different things that you could do. This organizer is really just to help you organize. Okay, and but it doesn't have to be, you use it the way that it works for you, actually. All right, and then there's one more character in this story. Okay, and that character is, let's see, I heard something crying. I looked down to see a tiny white kitten with black spots. So I gave a lot of details actually about this kitten. And I'm going to give you the kitten's name now, because this is my story. So I know that the kitten's name is Hikaru, or Hikaru, as my family likes to say. And I'm just going to put in parentheses, that's the kitten. Okay, so now you know the kitten's name. And that's going to develop through the story. So characters will often change through a story, just like kids change over the course of a school year, or even teachers change through the course of a school year. We learn new things, we grow, we try to teach you in better ways. Just like you learn things, you study things. You might learn lessons and improve your behavior or improve your study habits, organizational skills. Characters change in a story. Sometimes characters will start out one way, and then they'll learn something in the story, and then it will turn how they end up. And that's important to think about as we read a story. Okay, and this is part of your Common Core learning standards, okay, part of your writing standards 3.3, that you understand that. All right, so if I look at Hikaru, at this kitten, I see that he was crying. Okay, I see that he was tiny and white. Tiny and white. And he had black spots. So white with black spots. And then he looked like a cow kitty. Alright, so I might just write cow kitty, because sometimes I actually would call him cow kitty, because that's what he looked like to me. He looked like a cow kitty. He leapt up into my arms and nuzzled into my armpit. So I'm going to actually add a number 4 there, and I'm going to say snuggly for number 4, because he was so snuggly, actually. All right, and I might add other things. I might add soft. I might add baby, okay, because he was just a baby kitten. And you don't have to, just because there's only 3 lines, maybe you have 6 things you want to write. That's okay. As many as you want. Maybe these boxes are too small. So maybe you need to use this whole box for one character, and this whole box for another character. Just like I've done in the past, I will give you more than one organizer if you need it. You use it however helps you. All right? Or maybe you want to draw this whole organizer in the shape of a person and fill it in that way. It's up to you completely how you use this, but as long as it helps you develop your characters. So you're going to today think about your characters, and then you're going to fill them in here. Now, I didn't add all of the characters in my story. I actually have another character that's going to be added to my story, but she doesn't come in the setting. But I think I'll add her now, just so that I can think about her a little bit. There's a lady who answered the doorbell. Okay, and I haven't told you the story yet. Not really. So, the doorbell. But I'm going to think about this character because I'm going to include her a little bit later. And you might do the same thing. You might have a character that doesn't appear until the middle of your story. All right? I thought that lady was kind of rude. I thought she didn't want to talk. And I would call her kind of insensitive. Or maybe like a little bit cold-hearted. She was not very thoughtful to the needs of Hikaru, or Hikaru, I thought. All right, so that's what that means. Now, at this point, I am going to pause this and take some questions.